What if the greatest fear people over 65 carry isn't death itself, but the quiet moment when they realize they can't take care of themselves anymore? Here's the question no one asks out loud. If independence, the last true freedom, why do so many seniors wait until it's already gone to plan for it? From the very first moment, there's a missing piece. We're told to save money. We're told to stay healthy. But no one explains what actually happens when daily self-care slips just a little and how fast life can change after that. The early clues are subtle. A skipped shower because it feels exhausting. Groceries delivered because carrying bags feels risky. Medications missed because the schedule feels confusing. None of these feel like emergencies, and that's the mystery. Why do these small changes so often lead straight to a nursing home when most seniors desperately want another option? To understand that, we need to follow the cause and effect timeline that aging science has been mapping for decades. The origins of this issue begin much earlier than most people expect in early adulthood. In your 20s and 30s, independence feels permanent. You learn to manage routines, solve problems, and recover quickly from mistakes. Researchers studying life course development, including work influenced by Dr. Glenn Elder's lifespan theory, found that habits formed early determine how much adaptive capacity you carry into old age. The cause is repetition, the effect is resilience, or the lack of it. Then come the changes that start quietly in the 40s. This is when complexity begins to tax the system, cognitive load increases, chronic stress accumulates, physical recovery slows. According to U.S. health surveys, by midlife, many adults already rely on system spouses, rigid routines, familiar environments to function smoothly. Independence still exists, but flexibility starts to shrink. This matters later more than anyone realizes. Now we reach the shift after 70 that most people ignore. This is where the science gets uncomfortable. Studies from the National Institute on Aging show that after 70, the margin for error collapses. A missed meal affects strength. A missed dose affects cognition. A single fall can change everything. The cause is reduced physiological and cognitive reserve. The effect is rapid loss of self-care ability, not because someone is incapable, but because the system is fragile. This leads to the breaking point. It often happens suddenly, but it was building for years. A hospitalization, a fall at night, a bout of confusion. At this moment, families are told there are only two options: move in with relatives, or enter a nursing home. The fear spikes, the clock starts ticking. And yet, this is where most people are misinformed. The fallout is enormous. Nursing homes, while necessary for some, are expensive, emotionally difficult, and often not aligned with what seniors want. So, why do seniors end up there anyway? Because of the failed fixes driven by old advice. The belief that it's either total independence or total care. The idea that asking for help means losing control. The assumption that alternatives are unsafe, unregulated, or temporary. These beliefs persist even though aging research and care models have evolved dramatically. Now, here's where the missing truth finally starts to come into focus. If you can't take care of yourself fully in old age, there are 5 alternatives to nursing homes that provide support without stripping dignity, and most seniors never hear about them until it's too late. The first alternative is assisted living with functional focus. Not all assisted living is the same. Modern models emphasize autonomy, private living spaces, and targeted assistance only where needed. According to U.S. senior housing data, residents in these environments often maintain higher mobility and lower depression rates than those in traditional nursing facilities. The cause is choice and control. The effect is preserved identity. The second alternative is in-home care with adaptive design. Research shows that seniors remain more cognitively engaged and emotionally stable when they stay in familiar environments. With modifications like grab bars, medication management, and part-time caregivers, many people who can't take care of themselves can still live safely at home. The risk most people never hear about: Waiting too long makes adaptation harder and more expensive. The third alternative is adult foster care or small group homes. These are licensed residential homes with a small number of residents and consistent caregivers. Studies show higher satisfaction and stronger social bonds compared to large institutions. The cause is human-scale living. The effect is emotional safety. The fourth alternative is continuing care retirement communities, or CCRCs. These allow seniors to move from independent living to higher levels of care without relocation. Data from U.S. aging surveys show smoother health transitions and less trauma when care escalates gradually. The hidden benefit: predictability reduces stress, which itself affects health outcomes. The fifth alternative is shared housing with structured support. This includes co-housing models and multi-generational arrangements with professional oversight. As housing costs rise, these models are expanding rapidly in the U.S. The cause is shared responsibility. The effect is reduced isolation and cost. Now link this back to today. Across the United States, millions of seniors are facing the same turning point. They don't need hospitals. They don't need nursing homes. They need smart support systems that adapt as their abilities change. And the data shows that when alternatives are chosen early, outcomes are better physically, financially, and emotionally. Here's the twist most seniors never hear. The biggest risk isn't choosing the wrong option. It's waiting until crisis removes all choice. So, what can you do right now if you're over 60? First, direct action. Assess function honestly, not emotionally. Can you manage medications, meals, hygiene, and mobility safely? Planning starts with clarity. Second, direct action. Explore alternatives before you need them. Touring options early increases confidence and reduces fear-driven decisions later. Third, direct action. Talk openly with family about support preferences. Research shows seniors who plan collaboratively maintain more control over their future care. Here's the clear warning based on evidence. Crisis-driven placement almost always leads to less desirable outcomes, higher costs, and more emotional distress. And here's the open thought to carry into the next video. If most loss of independence is predictable, why do we treat it like a surprise? If this opened your eyes, like this video and share it with someone who worries about aging alone. And for the next chapter where we expose the early signs that independence is slipping long before anyone notices. Subscribe now. This conversation is far from over.